In this video, we're going to talk about modern day weight loss methods from the lens of the 5 elements. Sit tight. Welcome back to another video. My name is Jen Palco. Today we're going to talk about modern day weight loss methods from the eyes of the 5 elements. I thought this was important because this is a topic that has been popular for many years, right? Weight loss. Everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants to lose weight as fast as they can. There's new methods come out. For example, new GLP-1 agonists, injectables that people use to help regulate blood sugar and control appetite and stuff like that. So I want to give not only the 5 element perspective, but my perspective and what I've seen working as an acupuncturist for 12 years now, what I've seen recently in my patients and how I think it all plays a part in what elements are being affected and how it's affecting the body as a whole from a holistic level. So let's get into it. If you haven't done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, share. Really helps boost my content because sometimes YouTube gets confused as to what the content really means and who it should go to and that kind of thing. So it truly helps my channel out. So let's get into it. Okay, so if you're familiar with the 5 elements, if you're watching this video, you probably have at least a vague understanding of what they are. There's 5 elements out in nature: fire, earth, metal, water, wood. And this is taken from Taoist traditions, ancient Chinese medicine. The 5-phase theory, which is all of the elements nourish each other. We all have the elements within us. They all connect to different organ systems in our bodies, things like emotions, flavors, the seasons, everything. So there's a lot of correspondences with these 5 elements, and that's why I like to do these videos, not only gain an understanding of what your primary element or elements may be and like your personality and how you move about the world, but also how it affects your body on a physical level, emotional level, spiritual level. So let us talk about what we're going to talk about is dietary effects on the spirit, the Shen, how the earth element is affected in nourishing the qi and blood in the body, and balancing the nutrients and the 5 flavors, okay? All having to do with, different methods that people use right now for weight loss, okay? So let's start with the big one. Like I said, the injectables that people use for type 2 diabetes, the GLP-1 agonists that help the body produce insulin, control high blood sugar levels, reduce appetite, that kind of thing. So you'll see a lot of people, especially what I've seen in my practice, is a lot of patients come in and they're on Wegovy or ozempic and taking the injectables for maybe a year plus, and they've lost a lot of weight in a short amount of time. And these folks come in usually with some sort of chronic pain. I want to talk about this a little bit. When the body loses weight very quickly. Now, we've always had surgeries and things like gastric bypass and diets, Atkins diets, where you lose weight really fast. And I want to talk about this from a Chinese medicine perspective. And this is, you have to use your own discretion. So, don't take my word for it. This is my perspective on it, okay? So if you really need to seek medical advice, I suggest you do so. So don't take this as hardcore medical advice. This is purely what I see from my angle, okay? As far as observations with patients I've seen and what we know about the 5 elements in Chinese medicine. So, when you're losing weight very, very quickly, it has an effect on primarily your earth element, because your earth element connects to your stomach and your spleen in Chinese medicine. And what it is responsible for is not only the absorption of nutrients, but also transporting those nutrients to the different systems of your body, to your limbs, to the organs, helping create qi and blood in the body. So there's a number of things when your body goes through a very rapid transformation. So say you're taking an injectable, or you're taking a diet pill, or you're starving yourself, your body goes through this period of shock. okay, where it doesn't really know what to do. It's almost like if it's 20 degrees one day and you walk outside the next day, it's 60, and then the next day you walk out and it's back to 20, your body can get sick. Like your immune system can't handle it, can't adapt to it in a short amount of time. So it's kind of the same thing from my view, is that I see folks come in and they either they're very achy, fatigue. Of course, we know some of these new medicines out there can lead to things like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation's a big one, all kinds of things, okay? Headaches, right? And you know, these are side effects that have been studied, and they say, oh, well, they may go away with time or things like that. But if you think about it, the effect that it's having on the earth element, okay, nourishing qi and blood. In Chinese medicine, food is really the nourishment that your body needs to just supply your body with energy. Okay, creates the qi, the blood, your vitality in life. So when you're not giving it food or nourishment, because food is love, right? A lot of people have they have anger towards food, and I've been there because I spent many years in my 20s and stuff having a binge eating problem. Okay, where I would starve myself, or I would, you know, get my calories as low as I could. I had a really poor relationship with food, and it led me to binge, okay? And I started to hate not only myself, but hate food itself, the pure nourishment that my body needs, right? If you think of Earth, Mother Earth supplies everything we need for life to survive and thrive and grow. Right? It's the same with our body. If we don't feed it, we don't provide the nutrients and the nourishment, then how are we expected to function on a physical level, right? We may have more pain, we may be more achy, fatigued, right? On an emotional level, our vitality gets affected, effects on the spirit and the Shen. So this is what I'm talking about. And just from my example, like I've had patients come in and I ask them about their diet. And they say they eat maybe once a day, or they ate one thing, maybe an egg, not even. And I'm thinking about the macronutrient balance in the body, right? When you're not getting your 5 flavors and the balance of nutrients in the body, it's going to lead to deficiencies in vitamins and minerals and all kinds of things, right? So it's not just, you know, in this world of skinny culture. And I understand if somebody is obese, of course, getting weight off quickly can help save their lives, okay? I agree with that 100%. But there's this balance between, and you see people who are taking, they're doing crash diets, or they're doing maybe like all raw or all vegan just because somebody told them it was good, even though it may not be the best for their body because, you know, maybe their blood type or whatever doesn't adapt to it well, right? There's things that we do to try and fit ourselves into something. So, you know, while modern medicine and Western medicine is useful for things like these, and you want to, you know, follow your doctor's advice and stuff when it comes to weight loss, if say you are obese in that case, you have to also look at everything from a holistic level, okay? You know, what it's doing in other aspects of the body, okay? So in the example of somebody eating once a day or one thing a day or not at all, even small dose can take your appetite away completely, okay? And in this society, we think that's a good thing. We think skinny culture, right, is embraced. Get as skinny as we can and we'll be healthy. But that may not necessarily be the case, okay? You'll see, you know, sagging skin is another thing because the skin, the body can't adapt to it as well. And Taoist face reading, for example, the money bags of the face. The Chinese believed that it was healthy to have plump cheeks, right? Well, in our society, we're like, plump cheeks, no, we don't want like fat cheeks or anything, chipmunk cheeks. But they believe that the plumper the cheeks, the healthier you were, okay? So when somebody has the sunken cheeks or the ozempic face, for example, which is popular term, where you see it really sunken. The cheeks here, this is related, corresponding to the lungs and the immune system of your body and face reading, for example. So if you have sunken cheeks, it's a reflection of how maybe the immune system and the breathing is doing in the body. So anyway, okay, so we talked about nourishing chi and blood. Super important. Food is nourishment, the right type of food, right? So non-processed stuff, right? A balance of all of your flavors, all of your nutrients. Otherwise, earth is going to become deficient, the spleen and the stomach. And not only on a physical level, but earth relates to the emotion of worry and overthinking. So you may get more of those things popping up if you're deficient. And then if earth is deficient, it can't nourish its metal. And metal has to do with the lungs and the immune system and all that kind of stuff. So everything's affected. And you may have wood overacting on earth and a lot of stress in your life. And so everything is affected. And effects on spirit Shen. So if somebody is not supplying the body with the nutrients to create the chi and blood, then it's going to affect that person's vitality. It's going to affect that person's spirit, because the physical and the emotional are super connected. One affects the other, okay? So you may be thinner, you may be skinny, you may be, if you starved yourself on 1,000 calories a day or 900 calories a day, you'll notice that your energy is not as vibrant because there's nothing to support your body, okay? So that's really important because our spirit and Shen is really what lights us up in this world, what makes us move about, okay? It's super important, more important than just the physical of the body. There's a quote I just want to read you from Giovanni Machiocci's Foundations of Chinese Medicine textbook. If no food is eaten for half a day, qi is weakened. If no food is eaten for a whole day, qi is depleted. Obviously, Chinese didn't believe much in fasting. When it comes to fasting, I think it's more of a question of why are you doing it, okay? Are you doing it from the method of just starving yourself, where you're fitting into that skinny culture trend of starvation, right? Oh, I'm fasting, when you're actually, it's just like another way around of just like starving your body of nutrients. Or are you doing it for maybe spiritual purposes or things like that? So that plays a big difference, I believe, in, the effects on the spirit and Shen, your reason for doing certain things to your body, okay? If you're disconnected and you're just going along with the culture, it may have a greater effect on the spirit, on the Shen, on the physical body, because the two are very connected. Whereas if you're doing it for maybe spiritual reasons or something, or to give your digestive system a break, then that's going to have a different effect. It's the same as when you eat food. Food can be love or food can be toxic to you. And not only the type of food, obviously processed versus unprocessed, we know this, but the enjoyment you get out of eating something versus mindless eating, okay? So that's gonna have an effect on the spirit and Shen. So if you're just mindlessly eating food without being conscious, without being present, without being centered and grounded into your earth, then it's not going to have a positive or benefit to you. But if you are enjoying something with your full being, grounded in the moment, enjoying, I don't know, whatever, that slice of cake or something, tasting it, tasting the flavors, being present, feeling the joy, the fire, right? The emotion associated with fire, the joy in the moment, then that's going to have a different effect on the spirit and Shen, okay? Because you're present with the food. So that's an important thing to remember as well. So the biggest thing I see is the appetite being taken away with some modern day medicine, appetite suppressants, right? But the thing is, if the person has no appetite, even on a low dosage, they're not eating at all, they're not getting a balance of nutrients in their body, how is that going to affect them long term? It may lead to more joint problems, osteoporosis perhaps, if you're not getting enough protein in your diet. So everything's affected, okay? Just because you're balancing, say, your blood sugar in one area, you may be affected in other areas of your body, okay? So everything's affected, guys. When it comes to diet and nutrition, a lot of overeating is emotional, right? We know this, or can be compulsive, right? The psychology behind overeating and, gaining weight. There's sometimes an attachment to something, trying to fill a need or a void and stuff. So when we're looking for quick fixes a lot of times, or we're looking for the fastest way to drop weight, we automatically assume that we'll be happier. And it may, in some cases where we do feel more confident and when we lose weight, but you have to take it from a holistic standpoint, okay? Are you exercising? Are you supplying your body with the nutrients it needs for your muscles and your bones and all that kind of stuff? Otherwise, years down the road, you may run into issues. So a lot of people have digestive issues when they are crash dieting, or when it's just a shock to their system, or when they're on some of these medications or injectables, because the stomach and spleen is being affected, right? Constipation, loose stools, the stomach is not functioning properly at an optimal level, and that's going to affect everything as well. So I just wanted to fit this into the lens of the 5 elements. Mostly the earth element is going to be affected because that has to do with the absorption of nutrients and carrying and transporting nutrients to the different systems of your body and your limbs and how you function in the world. Earth is like your center point, and you have to nourish it to some degree. So, if you're thinking about some of these modern methods that are out, or maybe these diets that are out where you're taking whole food groups out, or whole macronutrient out of your diet, say if you're doing keto or something like that, just think of it from a wider lens, okay? How is it going to be sustainable long term, or is it just a fast thing where you think, okay, I'm going to drop the weight and then automatically I'll be happy, okay? Is it going to improve the state of your spirit, or is it kind of going against nourishing the spirit in a sort of way? You have to think about things like that. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments below. This is just my take on it, what I've seen with people where, they're not eating enough, not eating at all, and yes, you're going to drop weight, but you're going to have no energy, you're going to have headaches, you're going to have a lot of side effects that go along with that. So is it worth it in the end? You have to decide for yourself. I know they're still probably doing studies on it. It hasn't been out that long. I'm not sure exactly how long, like the injectables have been out, but I think there's a line between somebody really needing something and the other line where we're going along with like skinny culture trend, where people are using methods that are fast and easy when they won't necessarily benefit from it in the long run. It's just kind of like a shortcut type of thing. So anyway, hope you like this. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.